First of all, Micky, any sort of team news for the weekend? Players could be out, players coming back.
Leo Connor's back from Irish duty, so he's back into the group. And apart from that, we're okay.
Difficult time when you lose matches, when you lose 3 on the trot. It's something that during your spell at Tranmere you haven't been particularly used to, but you're still within touching distance. Nothing's particularly broken. It must be frustrating trying to put things right.
Yeah, but we've got to be careful because it's 3 league games in the trot. We've had 2 cup games in there because you guys would judge me on that. It's been 2 of them, it'd be 5. So we've had 2 cup games where we've done well. We understand that there's things that we need to get better at. We know that. I've never had away from that. That's my job, is to try and find things that we need to improve it. And certainly there is. We believe we know what that is, and we will try and find a way with the group that we have here to try and fix that. So we'll be keen. We've been keen all week to, first of all, show that to the players and then speak about how we're going to fix things. So no, we've had a good week's training as we always do. Disappointed about losing a game of football like we always should be, and we'll go again this weekend.
Can you sense when you see the group in training? Can you sense that maybe sometimes, even though the proof of the pudding is always in the matches, that you can see a progress towards what you want them to do?
I've seen a progress even in the weekends that you spoke about that we've lost games. We're still moving forward. What we've got to do is try and establish a way of playing, establish a way of trying to create chances and score goals, establish a way of trying to keep clean sheets and keep an eye on that with personnel or the team shape, and look at that with an evidence-based eye. And find out, is it working? And that's what we've been able to do, and that's what we will always do. So we've tweaked and had a look at maybe try to do different things to try and become a bit more of an attacking threat and play things a wee bit differently to see if that works for us. But it will be the same again. We worked on it this week, and we will, as you say, the proof of the pudding will be how we perform at it at the weekend.
Because there's so much that you're doing that's right. It's important that you keep those key components, isn't it? But it's easier said than done always, because scoring goals has always been the most difficult thing in football.
Yeah, and obviously the most important, and it always will be. So we have to find a way of being more threatening, whether that be the individual, whether that be the way the team's playing, or how we're getting the ball forward to the front. But you've got to look at all of that. But experienced enough to know about different ways of being able to try and do that. But it's important that we do it with the personnel that we have in order to try and achieve that, and keeping clean sheets and playing the way that we want to play in order to try and pick up points and score goals.
Elliot Nevitt, new contract for him last week. How pleased are you with his progress, and what sort of signs that you see he's in that you want him to?
I didn't hear that last bit. Sorry, it just went a bit.
What signs are you seeing that he's developing in the way that you want him to?
I think immediately when Elliot came, he became fitter, and when you come from not playing full-time football to full-time football, you're inevitably going to become fitter. And then there's going to be an impact to the load that he's just been introduced to, because he's not used to it. But it seems to have, he's come through that now. And then there's loads of work to be done on moving up levels and stuff like that, and playing against better defenders and playing with better players, and finding a way with the qualities that he has of being an impact all the time. But he's definitely moving in the right direction. Definitely. It's my job and the coaching staff's job along with Elliot to try and make sure that he keeps moving forward with the qualities that he has. We have to try and enhance them, and then you have to build a way of playing around that, as you would do with all of the players. It is quite as simple as that. then you've got to find the consistency of being able to do that. So that's what we'll continue to work on, because Alex we've only had sort of 20 games, and that's all Alex been full-time footballer for. But he's definitely moving in the right direction. He's a great lad, and we want to give him all the help we can to keep developing.
It's a great story, isn't it? Local guy and scored a hat-trick at Wembley and going up a level, becoming a full-time footballer. It's a boy's own story, but there needs to be a lot of hard work involved, doesn't it? And it looks like he's doing that.
Yeah, and the demands come on top now. He's got to score goals. That's what he's in the team to do. So together with us, I'm not saying... I will always keep it very simple. The strikers are in the team to try and score goals. It's up to all of us to try and find a way of trying to do that. Would that be working with them individually, not just him, working individually in the framework of what type of way that the team plays. So that's what we're doing at the minute. That's what we're working hard on. And we believe that it will come together for, we were speaking about earlier, it will come together for him at some stage. He just keeps working hard and try to be good at the things that we need him to be good at.
In terms of the overall picture, this game at Bristol Rovers, I mean, really close to you in the league table. The league table only means so much at the moment. Even after 3 consecutive victories, you're still consecutive defeats. You're still right within touching distance, aren't you? That there's no major damage being done.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we want to win every game. We want to perform well and win every game, because ultimately that's what football's all about, is winning. So we look at we trained all this week, and we'll go into the game on isolation at the weekend and try and win it, and try and perform in a way that gives us a chance of doing that. And then if we get the points, then you look at the league table and see where it takes you. But ultimately, it's a big game by game, and trying to find a performance that gives us a chance of getting victories.
Final one from me, Peter Clark, a rare mistake from him, and I know you'll say how fabulous he's been for you, and he has a terrific professional footballer. But even given his experience, I should imagine he took it pretty badly, in the dressing room, because he's that sort of guy, isn't he?
Well, as a professional, you don't play until you're 39, 40 years of age if you're not an ultimate professional. You don't play at that age if you don't have the right mentality. You don't play at that age if you're not humble and you're not a good teammate. And Peter certainly is all of them. And he was more gutted than anybody that that opportunity led to a goal on Saturday. But like all good professionals, he has to put that behind him, which he has. And he's come in last week. He acknowledged the mistake that he made. Nobody sort of holds him. There's no need for us to keep anything going any longer now. We just move on. And he will be ready to go again at the weekend with the right mentality and do what Peter always does. That goes and performs really well for us.
Brilliant. Thank you, Micky. Best of luck.
No problem. Thanks, mate.
Micky, you were 16 games into the season. As we always say, a lot of new players came through the door in the summer. At this stage, how happy are you with the group as a whole in terms of trying to execute what your aims are for the season?
Well, obviously, you always wanted to do much better. There's no doubt about that. You want to do much better. We are still trying to find a way of being a consistent goal threat. We are still working hard at defensively getting things right. And we are still trying to find that, well, not trying to find, we're still trying to get the balance right between certain things in order to be more of a goal threat. So we're always working, and even you always have to be pushing and poking at your team to try and make it better all the time. But in terms of the group and working hard, I'm really pleased with them. Really pleased with them. They're a great group. But we have to try and win games of football and score goals. That's the bottom line. You can't hide away from that. So we have to find a way of doing that. from the group that we have here.
As you said, in between the 3 consecutive league defeats, you have had good cup results elsewhere. So in the pursuit of better results in the league or more goals, obviously something needs to change from the last game, but do you see that as large changes, or is this just minor re-engineering?
No, you won't get any panic from him. I'm too experienced for that. There's a lot of the performance that's right, it's fine. There's other things that we will need to look at changing, whether that be personnel or a bit of team shape or whatever, but we would never do anything reckless and throw everything out the pram, if you like. So we just have a look at things and see if we can do things better. If there's somebody that can maybe do it a little bit better, or is it like I keep saying, a team shape thing. So we'll look at that in order to, like, quite simply, get clean sheets and try and score goals, create opportunities to score goals. And then on top of that, to try and be entertaining, to be good to watch. That's the ultimate goal for certainly for myself. And we will keep working hard in order to try and do that.
Yeah, you've certainly got no shortage of options at your disposal all over the pitch. It's obviously impossible to keep all these players happy at the same time. How does that work behind the scenes? Do people come knocking on your door looking for opportunities, or is it just a case of trying to deliver in training and taking the chance when it comes?
I wouldn't expect them to be happy they're not playing, but I expect them to be professional. That's a non-negotiable. You've got to be professional. But I then have to care about them all and work hard with them all in order to give them an opportunity to try and play in a team that scores goals and keeps clean sheets and entertains. That's what I have to look at the group and see what it's going to do. And then I would look at it with a non-biased eye, and I would pick the players that I believe would be able to go and deliver on that. I wouldn't be swayed too much by people outside of the game that would try and take me away from my thinking. I have a lot of good people around me who I would get their opinions on different bits and bats, and if I felt that I maybe have to look at something, then I would. So there's many things that you would look at before you would make what I believe are massively important decisions for Tranmere, because ultimately I don't care it's about Tranmere. I do not care about anything else but Tranmere, trust me. I'm not saying that because everybody will say, oh, look at Micky, he's a Tranmere man. I couldn't care less what anybody says to me. Let me be straight about that. Or what anybody's types or whatever. I do the best I can for Tranmere. And that's what I'll continue to do. So that any time that I make a decision and I pick a team, I believed at that time that it was the best way for Tranmere to try and score goals, win a game of football, or take us to a certain stage in a game to score goals or keep clean sheets or whatever. But it was always and only about what I believe quite coldly is the best way forward for Tranmere.
That's great. Thanks very much, Micky.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah, just a couple from me. You've alluded to it a couple of times, but do you reckon we'll see a few changes to the starting team come Saturday?
Yeah.
Just simple as that, then.
Yeah. Because I can work in hindsight, reacting to a result. I've got to be fair to my group, and when I look at it and I go, it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, I will look into the group, I'll look at the team shape, I'll look at the way that they played the team shape, and I will be fair to the group because I want to care about Tranmere, and I'll think, if I go that way of playing with the kind of tactics, with that kind of personnel, does that give me a good opportunity to get a result? I believe doing it Tranmere, because trust me, I want to care about Tranmere. And that spoils my life when Tranmere doesn't work. Trust me, I'm not just saying that. I just want you guys to understand that we don't go home and sleep well for a while. So I will coldly now put out a team that I believe will get Tranmere a result, score his goals and keep his clean sheets and try and perform well. And there'll be people who will be left out in that. And I don't have a problem with that because they've had the opportunity to, I keep saying, and I sound like a broken record, but I'm very process driven. They had an opportunity on Saturday to score us goals, keep us a clean sheet and play well. And it didn't happen. So we have to look somewhere else in the group. If I believe that it gives my beloved Tranmere a chance of getting a result, I'll do that. No problem. No problem. And I will work hard in order to go and try and make that happen. And I'll put the team up on Saturday and hope that they go and achieve that. So that's the way we'll look at it.
Yeah, and then just one last thing is that by the time we come to Saturday's game, it'll be just over a month since the last goal in the league. Do you hope that when one goes in, that it'll just sort of fall into place and then you'll be running again?
Yeah, but I don't want you to run away with that narrative that it's month. There's been 2 cup games. Because you are the first that would come after me if it within 5 games defeated. You'd have all been after me. There's been 5 games in the trot defeated. We've had 2 results. And then on Saturday, we lost a game at home. We're not happy about that. Certain things happened that contributed to that we weren't happy about. But on the flip side of that, we need to do certain things better. At the end of the day, it's 10v10 and people only have to take responsibility, score goals and keep clean sheets. And we weren't able to do that on Saturday for different reasons. But there has been games in between where we've scored goals, and there has been passes in games we've played well. But you're absolutely right that we haven't scored in 3 league games. So I'm not going to try and shy away from that because I know as well as anybody that we haven't. But there's people in the team that have to stand up now. At the end of the day, I can give them a framework. This is, again, no backing away from responsibility. I give them a framework. I pick a team. We decide the way we're going to play. But within that, people have got to carry out the technical expertise of delivering on that framework. Do you understand what I mean? So that's where my responsibility ends. Where I say, full-back's got to try and get it into front man's got to try and hold it up. Midfield players got to come and support that. And then we've got to try and play people in goal, and then you've got to try and finish it. I can't do that. So all I can say, put the responsibility on the people to go and deliver on that now, and that's what you try and do as a manager is create the framework to do it. But players now have got to go and deliver on that. I can't get across people in an 18-yard box. I can't do that. I'm too old. I'm standing at the side. I'm knackered. I'm goosed. I can't make runs in an 18-yard box and show you how much desire I have for Tranmere to score a goal. Because if I could, trust me, I would be putting you and the ball in the back of the net. No danger. So maybe we can just run into the 18-yard box with that mentality. We might have a better chance of scoring a goal. Because that's what football's about. The great players, when that ball comes in the box, they see ball, they see goal, and they're getting on it. We just need to encourage the players to have that type of mentality. Or get better service into them. Create better chances. But again, don't know how I've got on to talking like this, but football is dead simple to me. Dead simple. Whereupon you pick a framework to play, that's fine. It's worked all during the week in training. But then I used to be a player. I would have expected myself to go out and try and deliver on that framework, because that's what we're a team. So if my part in the job was to get the ball into the front man, I would expect to be judged on how well I did that, and I would expect myself to show the technical expertise to try and be able to achieve that. So that's what we have to do. We have to bring all that together. Framework, players' performance, desire, mentality, boom. Then next week you'll be talking to me and saying, well, Micky, that's only one win in 4 league games. Yeah, but you forgot about 2 cup games again. What are the 2 cup games? And you go, oh yeah, but you've only scored 1 league game in a month. But we've got to enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Enjoy it. You know, I love this. I love football. I hate getting beat. Love football. Love the challenge. Good to go again. Good to go again. Put players out there. Get that right mentality. Because added to the ability that I've got, the football ability, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I've got good players here. Just stand up, be counted, and do your thing. Do your thing. But let's keep smiling. I'm a very lucky man. Manager of Tranmere.